Transformers and Rectifiers, post-market hours yesterday, posted their numbers, their investor presentation for the outlook ahead, and all of that seemed to be very, very strong. Q4, the revenues have gone up. EBITDA and EBITDA margin have moved up from 7.2 to 12.9. PAT margins have moved up from 2.1% in quarter 4 FY23 to 7.2% in FY24. So very strong showing thus far. The question is what can be expected going ahead. Mr. Jitendra Mamtora, who joined a few days back and explained beautifully about the kind of demand existing, joins us right now to talk about the quarter gone by and the outlook ahead. Mr. Mamtora, firstly, congratulations on a very strong set of numbers. But tell us, sir, is this a bit of a new normal because of the demand situation that exists, or is the Q4 uptick that we've seen on EBITDA, on the kind of revenue upticks that we've seen, a one-off?
Niraj, if you see, traditionally, when we talk about our pre-IPO numbers, the EBIT margins were somewhere around 17%, 18%, 20%. Not only us, everybody's EBIT margins were like that. But in between, what happened was there were newcomers who entered into the business, especially into the large power transformers. Everybody wanted to have the entry into it, and there was unnecessary competition which was not required. So which had dropped the prices also. Everybody wanted to capture the market. It was new for everyone, but now it is matured and everybody knows that there is enough market for everyone. And it's not only renewable, it is only about the railways, it's about the metros, it is about the electric vehicles and so on, So the demand for the electricity is going to go to an extent that you can't imagine, that whether we'll be able to cope up with the requirement. It's going to be huge. And nobody will be without the orders. Everybody will be doing very well, and nobody will have any complaint for the lower prices of the transformers. And now you can see that the transformer manufacturers are also given due respect, which was missing earlier. They were talking about it as a commodity business. The margins were 1%, 2%, something like that. People were working with MSR ratio of 85% up to, and people have gone up to even 89, 90%. Now it has come down to 77, 78, 75. Going forward, it is going to be 70. So looking at all this, cash flow situation improving, not only the EBIT margin, but also the bottom line will also go up substantially in the coming years.
Mr. Mamtora?
Yeah, sorry.
No, Mr. Mamtora, I heard you. I'm just trying to get this sense. And sorry, I'm starting off with the margin conversation. We'll move on to sales and pricing in a bit. But just this, did I hear you say that during the good times, margins have been as high as 19, 20%? And therefore, am I to conclude that while you've moved up to 13%, this may not be the end of the uptick in the margin curve, that you could probably head towards those numbers, high teens, in the quarters to come?
We all hope so. We all hope so. And if you see, some of the smaller transformer manufacturers have that kind of a margin as such. I don't want to name them, but they have a bit margin of 25% even in the market, which is quite competitive. There also, there are lack of good suppliers. Now people are looking at not only the pricing, they are looking also at the quality of the transformer, the reliability of the transformer, because a outage for a day costs them a fortune. It may be the cost of the transformer more than the cost of the transformer. So people are now not talking only about the price; they also talk about the reliability of the transformers, whether it is for power evacuation, whether it is for IDT, that is inverter duty transformers for the solar panels, or whether it is going to be, which has not come as yet, but the transformers for the green hydrogen. So it's going to be a huge market, which, everybody will enjoy that, and we hope to strengthen our position by doing some backward integration, which is our sole uh, thinking that we should focus on the backward integration because that is going to be next shortage. Transformer shortage now, when the transformer demand has gone up, uh, the other backward integration like tank fabrication, the bushings, and all those things, are in short supply. Even the insulating material is in short supply. There are no supplies now. We have to wait for the supply or we have to plan in advance, pay them higher. So we all these areas, we are focusing on all these areas, and we should be able to become self-sufficient in the year to come.
All right, Mr. Mamtora, very good afternoon. This is Tamanna here. And, some very, I think, optimistic and positive statements there from you as far as the sustenance of those EBITDA margins are concerned. That's what's led to your PAT also looking very robust. Your profit after tax is up 400% year on year. Where do you think pricing is going to go? In your first response to us, you talked about how that whole era of competition and cutthroat pricing is maybe behind us. How do you see pricing pan out?
See, one thing, wherever there is the margins are higher than what is due, then you will find a lot of the other newcomers entering into the market. But as long as the pricing remains reasonable, there won't be many inroads by the newcomers. And moreover, the areas where we are working, the entry levels are very stringent. Like, if you want to get into extra high voltage transformers, the entry barriers are there, huge entry barriers are there. You have to, even if you put up a plant, you have to supply one and wait for 5 years before it completes its guarantee period, and then only you become qualified for that. So it's a long cycle. Even if I'm putting up a new plant now for manufacturing extra high voltage transformer, I will also have to wait, maybe not 5 years, but at least for 2 years before I prove myself that in this particular plant, we are in a position to manufacture the same quality of transformers which we are making in the other plant. So the entry barriers, and then moreover, we talk about the transformers for the green hydrogen, which is a state of the art. It is not an ordinary transformer. It is something which is totally different. And except for China, people are not very conversant with this particular product. China, there are a number of parties, a number of companies who are into this. But as far as India is concerned, we are the only one who are qualified supplier for rectifier transformer. We call it a rectifier transformer, which supplies power to the rectifiers. Rectifier supplies power to electrolyzers, which generates the hydrogen, green hydrogen, and green nitrogen, green hydrogen and green ammonia. So there, there are no players now as such. I don't say that players will not come. Players will definitely come. Hitachi has the technology, but they are restricting it to the European market and the Japanese market. They are not bringing the technology here. So that's where the margins are going to be. We have a very good product mix. If you look at our product, we are probably I'm saying, uh, 8 to 10 people outside China who are having the entire product range what we have. 8 to 10, not more than that. You can count them, and more than half of them are in Europe. 6 of them are in Europe. Rest 3 to 4 are elsewhere in the world. So, this is the kind of product mix which we have, which will give us an advantage over the other
Sure.
players.
Sure, of
Yeah.
course. So
Like,
and also, Mr. Mamtora, I know you've spoken a bit about the renewable play and how, you have an advantage there. You are up ahead. Can you explain to us how big a piece of your pie you expect the renewable play to be?
see, as on today, almost like 40% of our market is with the renewable. 40%.
And how much do you expect it to grow?
Um, I think, it has reached the limit as far as I can understand. maybe 40 to 45%, not more than that. Rest of the things which we have to collect from the green hydrogen, rectifier transformers, furnaces, transformers for the electric melt arc furnaces, which melts the primary metal. So these are the areas where we are focusing now, and we are being recognized now throughout the world. We have several orders from Mexico. We have already executed several orders from Mexico. Several orders we are executing for America and for Russia as well, about 6 to 7 transformers for Russia. They're all large transformers, and the people have started getting confidence into us with our,
Nice.
performance of the transformers, which we have surprised.
Right. Nice. Nice. That's good to know, sir. So then I have one final question, Mr. Mamtora. If all of these things are turning out well, if margins are going to do well, is there a formal guidance that you laid out in the investor presentation? I may have missed it. What is it that you believe you'll do in FY25? And how long is this upcycle? Sorry, that's my second question.
I don't want to give you any.
Okay. No, don't give me a formal guidance, sir. But could the revenue growth be 20-25%?
It can be anything. I'm telling you, it can be anything.
Sir, it can be 5% also. I will
Yeah,
flash
it can be
that Mr.
5.
Mamtora is saying that the guidance will be 100%.
Our aim is to go for backward integration.
Yes.
Where, the margins, EBIT margins may be 25, 30%, 35%.
Okay.
Overall cost of those components in the transformer may be only 5%. But it will give me an average advantage of 1.5%, 2%, overall.
Okay.
So these are the areas where we are focusing on.
No, sir. Sorry, sir. I'm just asking you. Sorry, because we're in a lack of time. Just need to wrap this up. But just one question. So which explains the margin uptake? Maybe it can go even beyond 20%, which is fine. What about demand, sir? Do you reckon that revenue growth could be 20-25%?
Revenue growth has to be that. Has to be
that. Okay. Great. Okay. Mr. Mamtora, fascinating show. Congratulations. Thanks for speaking to us and giving us those details. Much appreciate your time.